So this is Jessica and welcome back in another week at the Wild Race. We're up here in northern Wisconsin checking on some hunting land. This is one of our food plots planted with some Domain outdoor product. This one specifically is illicit, and we also have towards the top of Comeback Kid. So on this week of the Wild Race, we're going to travel to Florida. We decided to choose this place in Florida. I was recommended to this gentleman in this company who actually has access deer in Florida. Very uncommon specifically, but it was very much an opportunity that I didn't want to pass up.
Buck that I sent you the photo of,
Yeah.
that's where he's been hanging out. That's where he likes to roam. He likes to roam this back little hardwood right here, and then there's also more hardwoods if you're in the stand to the left back there.
Yep.
That's where he's usually roaming. But in the back there is an absolute stud. But the last time I was here, he was full velvet, but he's probably rubbing off by now.
Okay. Yeah, so let's start out this first stand,
Okay.
and we can always shift if needed too. I am super excited. We're at Woods to Water Preserve in Florida. So we're hunting axis deer, and we came out last night, looked at a couple different stands, kind of made a game plan of what we want to do as far as what we're looking for. There's quite a few bucks still in velvet, so our plan is to get something at least 30 inches or more, and there's a couple that were sent to me for a hit list. One in specific, he's rubbing off his velvet right now. There's about, they said, 5 hardhorns right now, so we're hoping that we can get and harvest a hardhorn. So once morning light breaks, we're hoping that we can, I'm going to use my compound bow today, and hopefully we can harvest essentially would be a trophy axis deer. So we're excited. It's pretty humid today, a little foggy, and it's definitely been warmer here in Florida than it normally has been, so hopefully stay nice and cool through this morning and be able to see lots of activity.
And when we went out in the morning, I saw a beautiful, beautiful representation of an axis buck, and I knew that I had to have him. I got him in my sight, and I pulled back, full draw.
I think I hit him a little low. Where was it even? Yeah. I saw my arrow sticking out of him, and then it fell out right about there. I have no clue where he went after he took off this direction.
So we hop out of the stand, we start to go on our trail, see if we can get some blood, see if we can find any trail of where this deer could have been.
Justin, did you see the flashing? Yeah. I thought I saw it come out of him. No, I thought he was closer over here, to be honest with you.
gotta cross at some point.
This land was built on hard work, nourished from calloused hands of men that kept their nose down until the job was done. Men who beat the morning sun, leaving any excuses at the trailhead. We're the ones that don't count on luck. We're the path makers, the believers, the caretakers. Nose down is more than a brand. It's a lifestyle. Live life nose down.
I knew that I wanted to harvest this axis deer with my bow. And as every hunter knows, no matter how much you practice, how much you get out there and really try to prepare yourself, the day of the actual hunt, something is just always different. The day of the actual hunt, being in that moment, you have all those emotions, that adrenaline pumping. You sometimes just don't exactly know what to expect. And that sometimes is the biggest thing to overcome as a hunter, is to put those factors in that you can't really recreate when you're practicing all season long.
What do you think?
We got blood trail, so that's promising. We're getting a solid blood trail, which is even more promising. So we're gonna keep trying to track him, and hopefully we can see if he bedded down. Maybe we need to give him more time. Haven't found my arrow yet. We thought at least at first we thought it fell out, but so far we have not found it. So we're gonna keep on tracking, and hopefully we come upon him.
Got blood, and we knew that we were on track. You know, as I talked in my previous episodes, that's probably one of the hardest things, is to be able to wonder, was it an ethical shot? How did I do? And without footage to verify that, sometimes it's really difficult. And unfortunately, we didn't have the footage to be able to kind of look back to see where we shot this deer.
Not found my arrow yet, so we're hoping that using the dog that we can be able to track. We had a pretty good blood trail through the swamp, about, you said 400, 450? 400 yards away from where I shot him. So we're looking, and we're using dogs to hopefully be able to get this buck harvested before it gets too warm out, because we don't want to have that either. Give him some time to bed down and hopefully lay down where he's at. So we'll see what we find. So it's about 1:30 in the afternoon on day one. We tracked initially my buck about 450 yards from when I first shot him. Like I said before, we were kind of waiting to see if he'd bed down, but now with this hot Florida sun kind of going on, we really want to make sure that we're able to get him and harvest him as soon as possible. We had a dog come in, Dixie. She's about a year old, and she did great. We were able to get on a good trail, went another 300 yards to try to find this buck. Never had to track a deer before like this, and never had to use dogs before in any type of realm. So when it comes to hunting yet, besides waterfowl hunting, but when it comes to tracking, this is totally new. But it's so swampy. It's super wet, super muddy, very swampy conditions. So we're tracking through, and then unfortunately we heard her barking, and they had called her off because they think that she got onto a different scent of a different deer, and then all of a sudden we couldn't find her. Her collar went black. They searched for her for about 2 hours, and we actually recovered her. She's fine, but she lost her collar. So we think that she was with my buck. So we're waiting on the backup dog to come track, and this backup dog is a wiener dog.
Pretty wet. She got a life jacket?
No, but she just went.
Look at her, she's so pretty. Hi, sweet girl. So we're super excited to see how this is gonna go and play out.
It should be 4 in May.
Okay, look at her, Cameron.
Camo.
Oh, Camo. Oh my God, I love it. It's perfect. So we're hunting and we're going to be trying to recover this buck with a wiener dog. So we're super excited that we're able to share this with you guys and be able to see how this all plays out. I thought it was a pretty interesting, type of thing. I mean, I guess all dogs can hunt. Any dog has the capability to do some good tracking, and so here's a great opportunity to see how this all plays out.
She sounds ready to go.
100%.
It's funny, I can drive 2 hours. Within 50 feet, it like turning off of the hard road onto a dirt road, she'll start whining. She just like, I don't know how she knows, but she knows.
Game face. We're gonna find these deer.
Road, they was in the same spot, but they wouldn't run off. And I tried to get in there.
Find him, buddy. Come on, let's go find him.
Find a tree, buddy. Find it.
He's going there. Buddy, where's he at? Come on, take mama that. I say he's still alive, and then there's still that one chance that because he did get jumped, he didn't have time to stay in one spot. And all we did was push him, but we did wait, 5 hours before we went on him. So if he was going to die, he should have died in them 5 hours.
I felt so confident when I took this shot at this axis deer. Upon tracking this deer, and hours later, bringing multiple dogs out, multiple people out to try to track this deer. Unfortunately, we realized that this was not a fatal shot. At the end of the day, this is why we call it hunting and not shooting. Sometimes we're successful and sometimes, unfortunately, we're not. And in those moments, that is when we can take those opportunities to go ahead and learn and grow. We knew that I was not going to go home with this axis deer, something that was on my bucket list. Make something a learning lesson and make something an opportunity for yourself to be able to go ahead and say, you know what, this is what I can learn from this. This is my mistake. This is something I can improve on. And let me tell you, there is nothing more that had me going home and practicing with my bow more than ever after this hunt. There's always room for improvement. And I think just like any hunter, as myself as a nurse, I will always be a lifelong learner. Although it was really heartbreaking to not be able to bring home that successful harvest, one of the most exciting parts of this trip and that I was looking forward to most was to be able to connect with this 11-year-old boy that we were able to take on this amazing opportunity. Like I said, one of the greatest ways that I can give back to the community is to bring others into the outdoors and to include them with not only the people and the resources local to them, but some amazing, amazing companies that are going to stand behind him. We had local bait shops that were able to not only give him brand new bait, tackle, fishing poles, everything to make him successful. We also had other companies donating sunglasses. We bought him a brand new Yeti cooler. We got him new clothes. We got him some really awesome gear so that he could have not only a great trip, but also set him up in a mentor program so he can go ahead and continue to be successful moving forward.
So Wyatt is 11 and he's local here to Florida, and so we were grateful enough to have him agree to come on a fishing trip with us, and we are going to go out fishing for some redfish, some sea trout, and hopefully we're going to have a really good day in the boat. Have you gone for redfish before yet? All right, well this will be a first time. We're super excited that we can experience it with you. We have a great team today and we're going to have a lot of fun. Are you excited?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's go.
Having this 11-year-old boy come to us and share his absolute passion for not only the outdoors, but specifically fishing, and through not only a number of sponsors, but a bunch of the local small businesses within that community actually rallied together to be able to give this kid an amazing opportunity.
I'm Captain Kenny Mullins, Real Epic Charters, Keaton Beach, Florida. Excited today to have youth on the boat, target some trout and redfish. The fish are still in shallow. We're in just getting into the spring pattern. The bite's really turning on. Got good water temperature. Should be a great day.
Okay, I'm John Drigger, Steenhatchee Bait and Tackle. My wife and I, we bought this bait shop back in September of 2020.
Our friend Kenny Mullins reached out to us and wanted to know if we would help with some donations.
You don't want to over spool it and put too much line on, because then when you cast, you're going to get a bunch of wind knots and it's not going to go well.
Look at that!
In the middle of the trip, we were able to surprise him and let him know that the very fishing pole that he caught his very first fish on in that trip was the pole that he was going to be able to take home and keep.
You were fishing today, you were using which pole?
This one right here.
All right, so this pole was actually from Steenhatchee's Bait and Tackle. They were able to do a lot of things for us today. The rod, the reel, the line. We have a couple things inside underneath here that we're gonna also give you. So you love fishing, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you say to Valina?
Thank you.
Steenhatchee Bait and Tackle. She also gave some saltwater lures. You got soft plastics, you got jerk bait.
This man needs some fishing help.
This kid was amazing. He was fun, he was goofy. Once the time went past and we were able to get to know each other a little bit, he let his personality come out.
He's got a moment there. I'm Scott Argenbright. I primarily work on the freshwater side as far as fishing personally. Now, I also brought Lucky Tackle Box. It's a monthly subscription that's going to come to your home, and you have all kinds of different baits that you can catch bass on. So you got crankbaits, you've got soft plastics, you've got a jerkbait in there, a bunch of different stuff. So how's that sound?
Pretty good.
Awesome.
She got a big one.
Awesome. So that was a donation from Sportsman's Warehouse from the cooler, and then myself and Wild Race. So what do you got in there?
I got a hat, shorts, pants, shirt, and then there's a strap. Okay, Justin, here's how you fish. You take your pole and you cast. And then you gotta wait until you feel a nibble. And then you pull and you wait until you get it right up near you. And then you grab it and then you have a fish.
So what did Justin do wrong?
He didn't pull enough. He didn't wait enough time for it to actually fight.
Yep. Pretty much sums it up.
At least nux him for the try, for the effort. You gotta give him a nux for the effort. Wild Race's mission is a race to change the future. We want to be able to educate these kids and youth and adults and everyone of every background. We want to go into these communities and we want to make a difference. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Wild Race episode. See you again next week. So how are we going to do this outro?
To the docks.
To the docks.
Wave and then you walk back and that shows your backs and then it ends.